Yeah. And once again, I'm back. Um, so I come back on. Right. Since last week, I wasn't, particularly had them two shows or whatever. Um, got a lot to talk about actually though. A lot of things are going again. Um, and I don't know how this is gonna go down. The Pope is saying they need money for the Vatican. Put your money in the Vatican bank. I mean, it's almost like you got a script going. I'm like, I can't explain it. Yeah, UPS is facing a strike too. That's what I meant to say. A lot of things going on. Mm, a lot of things going on. It's too much stuff to. That's why I try to come on like once a week or bring it on and try to put it all down. Because if I just would come on every day, I just report one story and then I got to regurgitate it. So mm, got to regurgitate the information. Got to find out who's the right source. All this stuff. It's not particularly. It's fun to learn. So now you just got to read it down. Mm. I always like the game. It's the game within the games and the script out of the scripture, right? So Fauci, he's talking about COVID boosters again, flu shots. I mean, did the clown show stop us to keep going? Um, the clown show keeps going and it gets better and better every time. Um, Make sure I get my guess on.
You,
Yeah, where you at?
you there?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Yeah. Well, it's interesting. Um, so I'm just looking at the stuff and bringing it all down. Um, just paying attention to the script and how it's played. So we pay attention to the script and how it's played, then we can find out the acts and the facts. Like I said, I got this article I got to pull up. I got to see which one I want to pull up first. There's so much stuff. You know what? Let's just go ahead with it. Forget it. So now I'll be looking down and I can say, what article I want to pull up? So much stuff. Let's pull up this one. This is an interesting one. Yeah, what's up, man?
Man, peace. What's the word?
Pulling up this article. Got Shaq in the room. I told him to come on. Let's talk about this psyop that's going on. A lot of psyops going on.
Send me up to the old dirty tricks.
Yeah, like that one.
Mm. Oh, we keeping their foot on their neck. G. They ain't nothing getting past us, nigga. We the new gatekeepers, goddamn.
Well, well. Speaking of gatekeepers, this is a gatekeeper. It's the Pope. Look at that. Huh. Pope Francis has ordered that the Holy See and connected entities move all financial access to the Institute for Works of Religion, commonly known as the Vatican Bank. According to Francis' rescript, financial and liquid assets held in banks must be moved to the Vatican Bank within 30 days of September 1st, 2022. So, so basically, they're making a move with the money, man. A lot of people controlled by the Vatican. Something going on.
Yes, they doing something. They definitely doing something. You said they're moving the money, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. That's one thing I wanted to mention about that Vatican. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, man, they always up to something, man. And like you said, there's so much stuff going on that you can easily miss this stuff, man. And you have to keep an eye on it because you never know. It's going to always come up in the future. And just so happen, this is right close. Now, when did this happen? Is this week, this month, last month? When did this happen?
This article was reported
Specifically,
on August 23rd, 2022.
August 23rd. Okay. And what's getting ready to come up? What major event is getting ready to come up soon?
9/11.
Okay. What will now? Let's go back. What when all the smoke cleared? What do most people say was going on? The let me see what's the word. What the delusion was going on, right? The
Terrorists attacking
facade
the
that was
country.
going. Huh?
Terrorists attacking the country.
Okay, they say terrorists was attacking the country, right? But what did some other people say that was going on at the same time the terrorists overall was attacking the country?
Mm-hmm.
Huh? During the same time that was going on, right? Supposedly, they said what? They said that while people was looking up, looking at the plane, focusing on this up going up at top, what was going on at the bottom, up under the land?
Oh, it was an implosion.
That, but also, what was going on? Let me know. Okay, while the plane and shit was flying, people was focused up there because remember, if they go back and check all the information, they said the buildings didn't have that many people in there because some people hadn't came in to work that day, knew not to come in to work that day, right? Okay. And while that plane shit was going on, we was looking up there and looking at all that shit. Some people say, and there's some say that they was taking what out from up under the land, underground, the underground tunnels up under that World Trade Center, the towers. What was they transporting from up under there?
I forgot.
The gold.
Oh yeah. Okay.
The gold. So where was they moving the gold, and where did they move the gold to? That's a good question. That's a good question. Where did they move it to?
I know the guy claimed the building had asbestos in it, but the guy, Larry Silverstein, they just bought that building, if I can remember. Yeah. But they were trying to get rid of them buildings too.
You said they were trying to get rid of them, huh?
He told Jewish people not to come to work that day.
Now, why was Jewish people the only ones not told to come to work that day?
Matter of fact, they told Kamala Harris, the guy who mayor of that she was messing with that time. They told him not to go to World Trade Center that day neither.
Because see, I don't know. I'm just trying to connect the dots with the information that we have. Because, like you said, often there's a big major event going on. There's something going, like you say, up under that event. So they create this big chaos, this big scare. Like you say, they scream fire in a crowded place, but all alone. Even with Swordfish, you ever see the movie Swordfish? Same analogy. They create, it's an illusion. So they're creating chaos this way while you looking at the chaos situation. The thieves is making off with the gold or making off with the goods, making their escape. So with this Vatican shit, I don't know. One question is, why is he telling everybody to put their money into the Vatican bank? What is going on? Because we know over the last 2 to 3 years, a lot of them Vatican, a lot of them priests over that shit have been getting what? It's been a lot of what, lawsuits?
Yeah.
Been a lot of lawsuits. Matter of fact, I think D. Gregory talked about that one time when the Vatican, what they did, they let me see what it said. They banned or restricted all bank cards or some shit like that. That was affiliated with.
They're doing that now, ain't they?
See what I'm saying? So, but same thing going on here though too. But no, because think about what this
doing it right now. Russia they got more power by the Saints. They told we cut your damn whole gas line out. What you gonna do about it?
But see, think about it. When getting this pandemic, we was getting stories of CEOs was what? For some of these major companies was doing what?
Speaking of CEOs, you just had a daggone Bed Bath & Beyond CEO that 50 years old. They said jumped out a high story building and killed himself the other day. And that's kind of interesting because Bed Bath & Beyond just said they're gonna lay off its stores and close 150 stores. It's kind of interesting.
So what is going on? What is going on? Like, go back before the pandemic. Remember when these CEOs was quitting the job? They was retiring early or stepping down from positions. And shortly after that, what happened? Shortly after COVID hit, they hit it hard because they was shutting down businesses, shutting everybody down, pretty much. They was shutting everybody down. Money. Now, what you got? What you got? You had this supposed war with Ukraine and Russia going on, and you got America sending billions of dollars to Ukraine, supposedly to Ukraine. But is they really sending it to Ukraine, or is they funneling it to Ukraine out to somebody else in the guidelines that they are sending it to Ukraine? Huh? These are just questions you got to ask. I don't have the answers. I'm just asking the questions because it ain't no coincidence. All this stuff adding up ain't no coincidence. This is one of the most strongest and most powerful. Huh?
I bet Biden told you last week to stop asking questions.
That's pretty much what he wanted to say. Tell you to stop asking goddamn questions. We know what we doing. You niggas, hey, I know niggas. Y'all niggas say, look here. Y'all niggas like to play sports and entertainment. You niggas ask too many questions. Matter of fact, I don't even respect you niggas, so I'm gonna go talk to motherfucking Cardi B. I'm not gonna talk to nobody that's gonna talk some sense. I'm gonna talk to somebody. You know what I mean?
Let me bring up something right here about Joe Biden right quick, since you brought him up. I want you to hear this, Shaq. You know the deal, don't you, Shaq? Whoa. Whoa. Oh, there it is. I wonder. For too many. All right, why are you taking so slow? Yeah, going on. Oh, here it is. Gotta let you hear this, Shaq. Need your
what you got going?
analysis on it. This is last week's speech. I ain't been on since last week.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Let me say my thing. Fair use copyright disclaimer on Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1970 is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, research. Fair use is use permitted copyright statute, otherwise might be infringing. Mm-hmm. Wow. Oh, don't mess up now. Don't mess up on the good stuff. Shit.
My fellow Americans, please, if you have a seat. Thank you. Thank you. I speak to you tonight. From sacred ground in America. Independence Hall. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This is where America made its declaration of independence to the world. More than 2 centuries ago. With an idea. Unique among nations.
If you want to sell online, make sure you stand out.
That in America, we're all created equal. This is where the United States Constitution is written and debated. This is where we set in motion the most extraordinary experiment of self-government the world has ever known. With three simple words. We the people. These two documents and the ideas they embody, equality and democracy, are the rock upon which this nation is built. They're how we became the greatest nation on earth. They're why. For more than 2 centuries, America has been a beacon to the world. But as I stand here tonight, equality and democracy are under assault. We do ourselves no favor to pretend otherwise. So tonight, I've come to this place where it all began to speak as plainly as I can to the nation. about the threats we face, about the power we have in our own hands to meet these threats, and about the incredible future that lies in front of us if only we choose it. We must never forget, we the people are the true heirs of the American experiment that began more than two centuries ago. We the people have burning inside of each of us the flame of liberty that was lit
hear this yet?
here at Independence Hall. A flame that lit our way through abolition, the Civil War,
Yeah, I'm listening.
the Great Depression,
All right, get ready.
World Wars, Civil Rights. That sacred flame still burns. Now in our time, as we build an America that is more prosperous, free and just. That is the work of my presidency. A mission I believe in with my whole soul. But first, we must be honest with each other and with ourselves. Too much of what's happening in our country today is not normal. Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represented extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. Now, I want to be very clear. Very clear up front. Not every Republican, not even the majority of Republicans are MAGA Republicans. Not every Republican embraces their extreme ideology. I know, because I've been able to work with these mainstream Republicans. But there's no question that the Republican Party today is dominated, driven, and intimidated by Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans. And that is a threat to this country. These are hard things. But I'm an American president. Not a president of red America, blue America, but of all America. And I believe it's my duty to love with you, to tell the truth, no matter how difficult, no matter how painful. And here, in my view, is what is true. MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution. They do not believe in the rule of law. They do not.
Hold on. I thought he just said he the president of the United States, not of the red or the blue. But you just called out the red. You didn't call out the blue because you mean to tell me ain't no blue ones that don't respect the Constitution? Come on, man. You full of shit. You just lied right there. Huh?
It's red and black. That red and black. Baphomet, Satanism.
Man, he just lied, G, because he just said that he what? He ain't the president. He would say he's the president of what? The United States, right? Not the president of the blue or the red. But you just called out so-called the red. You didn't call out nobody from the blue party, no Democrats, saying that they was violate the Constitution, which they did. He did it himself. He's in office. He did it himself with this pandemic. Dude, unconstitutional, you was doing what you did unconstitutional to try to force mandates outside of the federal government. You try to use them as attack dogs to force mandates. An unconstitutional mandate. Come on, dude. Stop with the bullshit. Stop with the bullshit. Then you demonize the citizens for them standing up for the standard and the freedom of with this inside the Constitution, because you're not supposed to be discriminated against your race, your creed, or your color, right? Your nationality, or your religion, and your medical what's the name? So while all that was violated,
wait a minute.
I'm just adding. All that was violated in these last 2 years had got violated.
Wait a minute.
By his orders.
That was just a startup, man. Just relax, man. It's in the first quarter.
Now I had to address that stuff before you go on, because I know you're going to talk a lot of old babble, more babble. But I'm just trying to catch him up in his lie.
Okay, let me go ahead and play him again. I want you to get more of this lie.
Recognize the will of the people. They refuse to accept the results of a free election. And they're working right now as I speak in state after state, to give power to decide elections in America to partisans and cronies, empowering election deniers to undermine democracy itself. MAGA forces are determined to take this country backwards to an America where there is no right to choose, no right to privacy.
Boy, you're a lying ass bastard.
No right to contraception, no right to marry who you love.
No right to marry who you
Hold on,
love.
stop it.
You hear what he's saying, right?
He said,
you hear him, right?
He said taking this country back. No right to choose. Well, hold on. What if I choose conservative? I choose Republican. I choose the Constitution. I choose not to wear a mask. I choose not to take the jab from a unknown fucking goddamn drug dealer, because that's what they are. They are drug dealers at this point, dealing drugs. I choose not to put a poison in my body. What happened to that? My body, my choice. We choose. It was a lot of people to choose that, but you, the head of state, the commander-in-chief, demonized and criminalized and pretty much weaponized the federal government to use against American citizens outside of the Constitution. All the rights we're supposed to have, freedom of speech, Second Amendment, name some more. All the ones he violated in these last 2 years. Just name them. Just name them.
Let the bastard go. I want to let the bastard go. It's funny, man. It's comical. Relax.
They promote authoritarian leaders and they fan the flames of political violence that are a threat to our personal rights, to the pursuit of justice, to the rule of law, to the very soul of this country.
Ouch.
They look at the mob that stormed the United States Capitol on January 6th, brutally attacking law enforcement, not as insurrectionists who placed a dagger at the throat of our democracy, but they look at them as patriots. And they see their MAGA failure to stop a peaceful transfer of power after the 2020 election as preparation for the 2022 and 2024 elections. They tried everything last time to nullify the votes of 81 million people. This time, they're determined to succeed in thwarting the will of the people. That's why respected conservatives like Federal Circuit Court Judge Michael Liddy has called Trump and the extreme MAGA Republicans, quote, a clear and present danger to our democracy.
Stop it.
While the American democracy is real.
Stop it. Stop.
Come on, man.
Slow down. Now, what is this resemblance? This is a resemblance of what? Hitler speaking. This is the same resemblance of what the shit that coming out of these goddamn out them damn Nazis on his fucking mouth. When Hitler Hitler and them was over there running them goddamn Jews and shit about the same exact shit, demonizing the people, telling motherfuckers, giving you who your enemy is on your own soil. When he in charge, you the one forcing the federal government to come lock people up, forcing the federal government to come knock on people's doors. You about to hire, you say you're hiring 87,000 more federal agents. Against who? If we poor or broke, how much more money you gonna take from us? How much more taxes you gonna raise for us? Right? What are we doing against you? We ain't no threat. How we a threat? Because I want to say no from a jab from a company that never made never made a vaccine. Make that make sense to me, right? Talk about why they never say rest in peace or have any commemorations for the family members that was lost in through this pandemic and all the elderly people that was lost in these damn nursing homes. Why ain't you never came out and made a state about them? Those are lives that was lost, that shouldn't have been lost because of all the protocols that they changed up through this damn pandemic just to force an unknown vaccine, or AKA vaccine, or a jab, or what they call it, some type of technology. Force that on the people outside of your constitutional rights. Didn't you?
Let me Hitler keep speaking though. It's getting worse.
Well, hold on. You said attack on the democracy, right? We gotta understand what is a democracy, dude.
Wait a minute, man.
On his democracy?
We're about to tell you.
Okay.
Let me tell you. Let him tell you.
Full of shit, man.
I want to say as clearly as we can, we are not powerless in the face of these threats. We are not bystanders in this ongoing attack on democracy.
Hey, man, hold on. Stop it. Hold on, Bernard. You got to stop it. Stop it. Because I got to say something. Stop it. We got the mightiest goddamn military in the goddamn world. Who gonna come on this soil and attacking this soil with the entire? Come on, man. We got the motherfucking Marines, the Navy SEALs. We got the goddamn Army. We got the goddamn National Guards. Not even concluding the FBI, the CIA. You got Secret Service and any other goddamn malicious groups or guerrilla groups that will come and help America. That's got alliance with America. So who the fuck is going to attack America on this soil that they so fucking threatened of? Come on, man. Stop feeding this bullshit to the people. Stop feeding this bull. That's fear. You're spreading war. You're spreading war on this land, dude, with that bullshit.
You reject the extreme MAGA ideology than those that accept it. And folks, it's within our power. It's in our hands, yours and mine, to stop the assault on American democracy. I believe America is at an inflection point. One of those moments that determine the shape of everything that's to come after. And now, America must choose to move forward or to move backwards, to build a future or obsess about the past, to be a nation of hope and unity and optimism, or a nation of fear, division, and of darkness. MAGA Republicans have made their choice. They embrace anger. They thrive on chaos. They live not in the light of truth, but in the shadow of lies. But together we can choose a different path. We can choose a better path. Forward to the future. A future of possibility, a future to build and dream and hope. And we're on that path moving ahead. I know this nation. I know you, the American people. I know
you don't know me, motherfucker.
I know your hearts. And I know our history. This is a nation that honors our Constitution. We do not reject it.
Stop it.
This is a nation that believes in the rule of law. We do not repudiate it.
Bastard.
This is a nation that
he said he know the nation of people. No, you know the people that believe in shit you believe. That's some bitch they said shit about reparations. He said shit about restitution for so-called black folks that was traumatized, brutalized. Their neighborhoods was burned down. Their businesses was burned down. Enslaved on their own land. POWs on their own land. He ain't mentioned nothing about that. He ain't mentioned nothing about you talking about going back to the old, moving to the new. You haven't recovered that yet. You haven't built that bridge. Called black folks here and there. But we asked about for giving our land back that was stolen, deliberately stolen, right? All the paper genocide that mainly Democrats in the history have been the orchestrators of it. It came out of the Democratic Party. These motherfuckers orchestrated all these different redlining and restrictions towards so-called black folks and American Indians, indigenous people on this land. You ain't talking about that. You ain't talking about none of the Indian treaties that y'all violated, your ancestors violated on this land, about recovering those treaties, about giving the land back to the indigenous people, right? You ain't talking about none of the wars that was fought on this soil for you guys to be in the position of power you in. So what are we going? You gonna skip over all that and get this? You know what I mean? Come on, man. They ain't said nothing about reparations or restoring or no restitution, restoring nothing. You just gonna roll over that sting roll over the so-called indigenous black people here.
I'm gonna give
really?
I'm gonna give it I'm gonna get a little live 5 minutes. Then I gotta get my next topic. Let me get back to 5 more minutes. I get my next topic. Maybe about 6. I ain't playing this.
You giving them too
I
much.
stuff to talk about. I just showing you. No, I gotta give him a little bit more.
And this is a nation that rejects violence as a political tool. We do not encourage violence.
Well, yeah, damn lie.
We are still an America that believes in honesty.
Man, hold on. What about
Oh,
some
man, keep
motherfucking
going.
race riots 1917? East St. Louis, race
We are
riot.
still
A
at
goddamn
our core
lie.
a democracy. And yet, history tells us the blind loyalty to a single leader and a willingness to engage in political violence is fatal to democracy. For a long time, we told ourselves that American democracy is guaranteed, but it's not. We have to defend it, protect it, stand up for it, each and every one of us. That's why tonight I'm asking our nation to come together, unite behind the single purpose of defending our democracy regardless of your ideology. We're all called by duty and conscience to confront extremists who put their own pursuit of power above all else.
Well, you show the streamers.
Democrats, independents,
what?
mainstream Republicans.
Come on, man.
We must be stronger, more determined, and more committed to saving American democracy than MAGA Republicans are.
Well, how many times you done said American democracy?
We, the people.
See, this is programming, dude.
Will not let anyone.
We the people.
We the people. I thought you said the republic. I thought we was a republic. And the Constitution don't mention nothing about no goddamn democracy,
damn.
lying bastard. The Constitution don't mention nothing about no goddamn democracy.
Custom
Says we
don't say that
industrial
like
machines and days.
Right or wrong? He talked about the damn
There are
Constitution.
dangers around us. We cannot allow to prevail. We here, you've heard it. More and more talk about violence as an acceptable political tool in this country. It's not. It can never be an acceptable tool. So I want to say this plain and simple. There is no place for political violence in America. Period. None. Ever.
Okay. If you believe it.
We saw law enforcement brutally attacked on January the 6th. We've seen election officials, poll workers, many of volunteers of both parties, subject to intimidation and death threats. And can you believe it? FBI agents just doing their job as directed, facing threats to their own lives from their own fellow citizens. On top of that, there are public figures today, yesterday, and the day before predicting and all but calling for mass violence and rioting in the streets. This is inflammatory. It's dangerous. It's against the rule of law. And we, the people, must say, this is not who we are.
Go on, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, we can't be pro-insurrectionist and pro-American. They're incompatible. We can't allow violence to be normalized in this country. It's wrong. We each have to reject political violence with all the moral clarity and conviction this nation can muster. Now, we can't let the integrity of our elections be undermined. For that is a path to chaos. Look, I know politics can be fierce and mean and nasty in America. I get it. I believe in the give and take of politics, disagreement and debate and dissent. We're a big, complicated country. But democracy endures only if we, the people,
How many times you said democracy on this speech?
Guardrails of the republic. Only if
You say republic, right?
we, the people, accept the results of free and fair elections. Only if we, the people, see politics not as total war, but mediation of our
Well, we know
different
politics and politicians are big liars and whores. So.
When one side believes there are only two outcomes to an election. Either they win or they were cheated. And that's where the MAGA Republicans are today. They don't understand what every patriotic American knows. You can't love your country only when you win. It's fundamental.
What? What the fuck he just say?
American democracy only works only if we
That's
choose
programming.
to respect.
See how many times he mentioned democracy? That's programming, dude. And the Constitution don't mention shit about no democracy.
Only if
it don't
respect our legitimate political
differences.
differences.
Read a republic.
I will not stand by and watch. I will not. The will of the American people be overturned by wild conspiracy theories and baseless evidence-free claims of fraud. I will not stand by and watch elections in this country stolen by people who simply refuse to accept that they lost. I will not stand by and watch the most fundamental freedom in this country, the freedom to vote, and have your vote counted and be taken from you and the American people. Look, as your president, I will defend our democracy with every fiber of my being, and I'm asking every American to join me. Throughout our history.
All right. I told you I was going to get a man in 5 minutes. I gave him what he gave. I gave him time. You know, I let you hear that. This was a contradictory speech. This was feel alive, propaganda, all that. And he kept on saying, our democracy, our democracy, our democracy, our democracy, our democracy. He said it about 20 times in the 15 minutes I even played. He even said Republic like 3 times though. So give him credit for saying that.
Yeah, but he kept saying it. The democracy is not the democracy. That's something they made up. That's not even in our Constitution. There ain't no type of language, no democracy that I know of.
But a lot of things he said though, he was projecting what they did, but he projected it onto them. You see what I'm saying? That's a Hitler attack.
Well, that too, and he never mentioned none of the Democrats. So that's bias itself. You mean to me no Democrats that attacked the democracy per se, or do you mean to me there's no MAGA Democrats? All MAGAs are Republicans? You mean to tell me there's no Democrats that want to make America great again? Whatever that means to you.
Like Dawson said,
you mean to tell me
all the violence and destruction, not January 6th when staff at the White House and politicians were letting them in.
But look here, man. He keeps saying talking democracy, but everything in this country is foreign. Just about everything in this country is foreign now. You got Asian hate crime bill. You ain't got no American hate crime bill. Is that not strange? So the democracy is to give your sovereignty up to another country? To bring in and give an Asian hate crime bill to Asian Americans? Over all Americans? Why you just didn't put an American hate crime bill that applies to all races and nationalities? Right? I mean, that would be fair. If we're talking about a fair government, we're talking about a fair, what's the name? America. But you know why they wouldn't? Because some people have to be held accountable for shit they did to so-called Black Americans. All the businesses that they destroyed, all the business they continue to block and don't give grants and loans to start businesses in certain urban neighborhoods. They let foreigners come in, set up shop in these Black neighborhoods, these Black communities, these Black towns and cities and stuff that's majority run by Blacks. And some of the local Black politicians got to be held accountable because they just taking the money too. They letting the cities go to shit, and they letting these foreign investors come in and buy up the land for cheap. And they put them in position. Because if you got land and you got businesses on the land, you got land and money, you can pretty much run the town. Right? You can pretty much run the town. You get anything built on there if you got the money and the land. Right? So why is he not bringing so-called Black leaders and Black Americans or Black Indians? Why are he not coming to the table and saying, hey, look here, I'm signing this Black American Indian Act to give grants to Black Americans to start businesses, to make the economy, to boost and boom the economy in these low performing areas in business. these black areas and less low performance. Instead, what he did this whole year and a half, he sent money to what? Ukraine. He could have put that money back into the economy and built the economy because guess what? So-called black Americans, we got over $1 trillion spending habit. If you put that money and put that business back into the black Americans, that's economics back into America, not going out because we buying all our goods from where? We got China making the goods. We got people, mostly Asian countries that's mass producing goods, right? Where the homegrown American companies at again? Where the homegrown American factories? Where the homegrown, American products, produce and farming and stuff? Talk about how y'all did the farmers over these last couple of years. And I would say the last 20 years I've been messing over the farmers and shit, the American indigenous farmers. Talk about that. Why you don't ever mention that stuff? You talking about somebody that's just destroying the country?
Let me tell you why he owns BS anyway. It's like in Mexico, a new on 2 qualified county commission and Cowboys for Trump co-founder Corey Griffin from holding public office engaged in insurrection on January 6th. He's been barred from federal and political office. It arrived as lawsuits aimed at sidelining political candidates and elected officials linked to the Capitol riots. He was convicted in federal court of misdemeanor for entering Capitol grounds on January 6th without going inside the building. He was sentenced to 14 days and given credit for time served. Now the new ruling has removed him as a commissioner in southern New Mexico. He is barred from serving as the president elector. He aided the insurrection even though he did not personally engage in violence by joining the mob and trespassing on restricted grounds. So notice they just got rid of this guy because he was at January 6th, but he did not engage in any violence. That's crazy. That's what I was trying to tell you about Joe Biden. He's sitting up there lying. See what I'm talking about? Just want to point it out to you. So he's sitting up there, he's telling a lie.
But then you said you say you trespassing on what grounds?
Capitol grounds.
Did not let them people didn't the people get let in on them grounds? Wasn't them people let on those grounds? Because if you had now think about this. Let's take it slow. Let's take it slow. Now, if you had heads up that there was going to be people that was going to be protesting because of the outcome of the election, right? They just wanted to make sure that everything y'all checked it and double checked and make sure you had the numbers right. When no fraud going on, people showed up outside. If you knew this was going to happen, why didn't you have security in place to prevent anyone getting that close to the building? It wouldn't take nothing to deploy National Guards or any army, because I'm pretty sure, because I thought they were supposed to have been there, because number one, when this fake election went down, when this fake inauguration went down, how many different branches of military that was there for this you know how many branches of military was there?
National Guard. They had a lot of National Guard troops up there.
They had a lot of National Guards, and they had a lot of other military units and stuff that was there too. Because the city's supposed to been locked down. Why they didn't lock the city down if they was for the January 6th, what they call it? They was counting the votes, or what was they counting? Electoral colleges? What was they doing there? Specifically, the name. Huh?
The insurrection?
No. What was they actually doing? What was they there for? What was they there? They was there to what? To certify the votes or some shit like that for the election? What was they there for? That particular day, January 6th.
Protest the election results.
I'm talking about I'm not talking about the protest. I'm talking about the actual people in the building, the facility. What was they there for?
Oh, to count the vote.
Okay, they was there to certify that all the votes was correct votes to the right winning party, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you're doing that, that should be one of the biggest, that should be, you should have double and triple security just in case, right? Definitely if you didn't heard that there was going to be a protest and a march, you should have had security, enough security posted in certain positions where the crowd couldn't get so far. 1,000 feet to the building, 500 feet to the building, however the protocol in those situations. Why was that not taking in place? Make that make sense to me.
Because I wanted
Why was
something to go
those
down.
steps not taken? Because I wanted something to go down. I wanted to left the door. Same thing with this leaving the damn our borders down, our south borders down, up, open, and not finishing the wall and building that wall to make it hard for illegal immigrants to cross and undocumented immigrants to cross over here. Why is you leaving it open? See, they never spoke about that. They never talk about the illegal immigrants coming in and leaving the border open. The House representative, she spoke one time and said that they was not going to continue that project, the project that Trump started, was building a wall. So then you're sending money. We're supposed to be in a pandemic, but you're sending money out of the country to another country. Make that make sense to me. Trillions of dollars. Make that make sense to me. You stop the pipeline, right? Make that make sense to me. Because all these things you got to address because they happened up under his watch. You can go back and blame Trump for whatever Trump stirred up in his term. I have no problem with that. The problem is people the ones that voted for Democrats or voted for this particular administration, on this just say voted, who say they voted out the previous administration, just say that. You never address the situation that's going on currently up under this administration. You try to relate back to the previous one. That's cool. Okay. If you're gonna held them accountable, the previous administration, you damn sure got to hold the present administration accountable for their actions and how the economy has been went up. Inflation at all-time high. Every store is raising their prices damn near every day on the products, right? They trying to force out gasoline cars and force electric vehicles onto the population. My question would be is, what are you gonna do with the gas stations? If you force out all the gasoline vehicles, are you gonna still have gas stations? And those are jobs by Americans. So what are those jobs? Who you gonna replace those jobs with? How are you gonna give Americans more jobs if you're canceling more jobs? More companies are going out of businesses. They're merging with other big companies. That means they're lessening more opportunity and jobs for American taxpayers right now. But you're bringing in immigrants on top of that. How can our economy withstand that if you're bringing in extra people on top of the people that's already need or in lack of? How does that work? Make that make sense to me. See, these are questions that they got to answer. And I suggest everybody on their platform ask these same goddamn questions because they're going to have to answer them sooner or later. We got the power. We are the people. If you notice what we say on these little platforms, even on this platform, we got these small platforms, this information get out. I done heard other people saying some of the shit we didn't say it that I ain't heard nobody else say. I done heard another big platforms use the term Wheel of Fortune. When have you ever heard another one use the Wheel of Fortune, Bernard? Who been using that term Wheel of Fortune?
You've been using it.
So they watching because I watch them. So we are making waves, and I guarantee you they're gonna have to address some of these things if other people get on their platforms and make them address it. So we got to make them address these topics, and because they still ain't talking nothing about reparations. They ain't talking nothing about restitution, restoring. Now they want to push LGBT and they want to push civil rights for them, but they never gave civil rights back to Black Americans.
Speaking of civil rights,
yeah,
you heard about this thing at Duke or something with the volleyball thing or something?
With the it was a so-called Black American female. She was the
Yeah,
only
but
one on the team.
that's not the thing. I'm trying to tell you what's going on with it.
Mm-hmm.
BYU is a big Christian school, right?
Mm-hmm.
BYU, they got like they want people to get married. Church of Latter-day Saints. That's who's owned. BYU has removed pamphlets advertising off-campus resources for LGBTQ students from welcome bags and new students in August. They're not gonna let you advertise no LGBTQ stuff on their campus, man. See?
Okay.
Rainbow Collective, a nonprofit, not affiliated. The pamphlets offer information on regular events available to LGBTQ students off campus, as well as a list of local organizations offer therapy, safe housing, mentorship, and other things. Okay. So what I'm saying, you had the WNBA say they're not going to, play basketball games, or Dawn Staley, I think she said South Carolina, I can play BYU in the game or something.
Okay.
Whatever happened at Duke, I am not 100% sure, but I do think they got a political agenda behind it because they've been going after a lot of these religious schools.
So is Duke a religious school too? Catholic? With the Duke is Catholic, right?
Duke is a medical school.
Mm. You talking with the volleyball player, right? The situation happened.
Yeah. I'm talking about, but yeah.
Well, they right. I mean, I don't have no problem, man. If that's what they feel, if BYU feel like they ain't gonna promote no LGBT, and then if other schools standing on there and say they ain't gonna forfeit the games or going to those things, then that's on them. That's the choice they make. They have the freedom to make that choice. Both of them have the freedom to make that choice. Ain't no discrimination, because if you're not going by my religious beliefs, same thing with LGBT. LGBT is becoming a religion. Look like it's pushing its way in like a religion. You know what I mean? And you got more and more people, whether they straight or gay, straight or homosexual, they're pushing for LGBT to have more rights than the average person, than the average group of people. You know what I mean? It's like they stand with them. It's like, well, damn. It's not that big of a group, and they ain't being discriminated on against like that for real. Because you got all rights as a regular human being, man or woman, you have rights up under the Constitution. So I'm trying to understand why you want to create a whole new separate religion, a race, a group to get separate constitutional and civil rights, separate to the ones you already have. You already have that right. Make that make sense to me. That's why I understand why they passed the Asian hate crime bill when I thought it was, you know what I mean? If they are protected as citizens up under the Constitution, Bill of Rights and all that, why did you have to pass the Asian hate crime bill? And what does that mean? Does that mean they're a protected class of people? So what if I'm walking down the street and an Asian try to fight me or stab me? Huh?
Let me throw you a one-off side right here. Brazilian man survives 11 days in ocean floating alone in a freezer. So why was this guy floating in a freezer?
I have no clue. In a freezer?
They say he survived.
I don't know, man.
Days floating in the ocean.
That's all the information they have on that? Is it going deeper? I'll have to have more information because, we ought to be tired of them just throwing small little snippets and clips and shit up, and we just jumping at it. We got to go in deep.
Well, that's why
find out where the source came from. Huh?
It's a weird thing.
Was that?
Let me do that. Hold on. Let's see. All right. Trying to find out something. Yeah. Okay. Let me play another one for you. It's about Trump. And I'm gonna play 2 videos. And then we gotta talk about this thing we talked about last night and a couple other things. So just hold tight, man. It's coming. Hold tight. Getting to one more story here. Just want you to hear it. Just a little bit. I'm not playing the whole thing. I'm playing like 4 minutes. This is how the media gets their spin. No, I don't want to hear no damn ads. All I hear is crickets outside.
Trump scoring a major legal victory that's got the media fuming. A federal judge in Florida granting Trump's request to a special master to review the items seized during the FBI raid on Mar-a-Lago. Some in the media not too happy about that and lashing out at the judge.
Trump judges do not believe in the rule of law. They do not believe in precedent. They do not believe in facts. They do not believe in logic.
It is striking how this judge has created these exceptions. It's a wild decision.
This is the most important professional thing that this judge has ever done in her life, and you'd expect an A game. And this is riddled with errors and silliness.
From here, I want you to listen to one more. This is MSNBC host Mehdi Hasan with an interesting theory.
The rest of the world is probably wondering why he hasn't been prosecuted yet. Why we are a weird global outlier when it comes to giving former leaders some kind of blanket immunity from prosecution.
Okay, so that's a roundup of what was going on. Judge, what do you think? What do you think about the judge's decision to allow for a special master?
I really wasn't surprised because she had indicated she was inclined to do it. She asked the government, what is the harm to a special master? And she said that this special master, which she will select, I think, at the end of the week, based upon input by both the Department of Justice as well as President Trump's attorneys. This special master will have to go through 11,000 plus documents, and that person may be alone and not necessarily have his own team of people like the government. But what she's basically saying here is that there has been enough of a callous disregard by the FBI of the president, and there's a good argument for that in terms of the FISA warrant, the re-upping of the warrant, and all of the Russia collusion delusion. So she said, you know what? I'm not going to rely on the DOJ's team to review this, and we already know the DOJ's team took attorney-client stuff, but she did something really important. What she said was, in addition to attorney-client, I want them to kind of filter through and see if there's anything that's protected by executive privilege. There are also medical records and tax records. I mean, this is beyond the scope of the search based upon the warrant itself. And there's one more thing I want to say. She quotes the United States, I believe the Supreme Court, where a former president must be able to successfully invoke presidential communications privilege for communications that occurred during.
All I'm saying is the media is really getting on this thing because the judge said he can get an independent arbitrator. That's really what's going on there.
You said the judge said need to get the independent arbitrator for what now?
For Trump.
Make a decision or something? For Trump?
Basically, they were saying that he shouldn't be able to get it. For the FBI thing, yeah, the little raid, they say whatever happened here, they saying that he can get an independent arbitrator to review the case. That's what's going on
there. Okay, well, is that legal? Is that a legal action?
Yeah, it's like
okay. So what's the problem?
The Democrats say he shouldn't be able. The judge shouldn't do it. They say it's a Trump appointed judge that did it.
But see that now they begin now see they're going they're tripping and they're going too far because they're pushing the limits now. Because it's going to be a back and forth, or it's a Democratic push, a Democratic appointed judge, a Republican appointed judge. Dude, you just said you the president of the United States of America, not either party. But then again, you you only calling out the Republican Party. You're not calling out no Democrats for the bullshit that y'all do, the shenanigans y'all been doing. Make that make sense to me, dog.
I ain't got something else for you, Shaq, this whole time. I'm going through a long list of things.
$5,500 quality of life
per year.
So Fauci had this to say in a press call. Just now. He said that going forward, a single annual COVID-19 vaccine shot targeted to the latest variant can function like the annual flu vaccine does now. So you would just get. They're saying you should just get vaccinated for flu every year. They've already said that. Just like you would get vaccinated for flu every year. They would expect you to. They want you to get vaccinated for COVID every year. I know some people are probably not going to listen to that. It's more just total admission that just getting vaccinated does not stop you from getting COVID at all. You have to get it every year. And the flu vaccine also doesn't stop you from getting the flu. It maybe helps you fight the flu. I think better than COVID.
A lot of people do get shots, especially if they're in vulnerable categories. It's very much encouraged for older Americans. So, let me ask you this. Yes, getting a vaccine does not prevent disease from transmitting. It does not prevent you from getting COVID, but it still is well correlated to preventing some of the worst outcomes, death, hospitalization, and the like. And also seems to have an effect on minimizing long COVID, and people are hopeful that the Omicron-specific booster will have a better effect.
You got double. You got
transmissibility as well. Will remain to be seen what actually happens when it's out, and we can test these kinds of things. But do you not see this as something that might cause COVID vaccines to be depoliticized in the same way that flu vaccines are not politicized?
I would certainly hope so. We don't want them to be politicized. It shouldn't be politicized. It's absolutely the case that many people suffered and died unnecessarily because they fell into a category where getting a vaccine would have done them a lot of good, and they didn't do it. And it's terrible. It's very terrible that vaccines were politicized that way. But politicization is a road that goes both ways. That is something that health officials accomplished inadvertently to our detriment by getting a lot of things wrong, unfortunately, including about the vaccines. I so wish they had not been oversold at the beginning, even though they did hold up a lot better on the transmission front at the beginning. But now we have the situation where some people, not most people in this country, most people got vaccinated. Most people who are in a risk category, I think, have even gotten boosted, older people. And they should continue to do that, even every year, certainly. And maybe if with the new vaccine or the Novavax one does not use the same the mRNA technology that some people are a little skittish about. And so if you can just get boosted with the non-mRNA vaccine, that's a great option for a lot of people. I'll probably get. I don't think I got the flu vaccine last year. I should have. Yeah. I'll probably get the flu vaccine and a COVID booster. In the next couple of weeks, probably.
Yeah, what is ironic is I think a lot of us don't get flu vaccines and probably also may not end up getting the booster, in part because there is not the same kind of medical infrastructure that exists to encourage people to be compliant with all of those kinds of things. So I do think if there were more regular doctor's visits, if people had general practitioners, if people had, a better relationship with our healthcare system, it would probably be the case that people would regularly get flu shots and would be happier and healthier as a consequence. And the same with this COVID.
What if
stuff.
I could just buy it off the shelf? I wouldn't even have to get a doctor. I can jab myself.
It would be nice if you could afford it, but the point.
I can definitely afford it. What I can't afford is the time it takes to go to the doctor to do all that. We medically gatekeep in this country. I know that you can afford it, Robbie, but the point I'm trying to make is that Biden is withdrawing a lot of the financial support for a lot of these COVID interventions now, and there's very little pushback from, I think, the cohort that should be complaining the loudest. A lot of conservatives, I think, because the politicization of this, are not necessarily looking down the road of what's going to happen when they're largely abandoned to the vagaries of our healthcare system and the costs associated with it, as they, frankly, probably do want to have the protection that these newer boosters will provide. And I think it's unfortunate that the politicization has caused there to be a lack of accountability from the Biden administration. But I do think the incredible look, your points about the problems with the medical system are, of course, well taken and correct. But the time it takes to time is a strain on disadvantaged people who don't have resources because they don't have, they got to get their kids from one thing to the next. They're working long hours. It's hard to find time out of your day to do even routine things like go to the doctor, which is why I advocate for as many things to just be available over the counter as possible, including lots of.
You can't possibly be advocating that there's a substitute for going in and having a checkup by a physician on an annual or semi-annual basis. I mean, the problem here is that we don't have enough labor protections to guarantee, to protect workers' rights to take time off work without losing their job or being railroaded by their employer to go and do the basic things that are necessary to stay healthy and to survive. Preventative medicine takes a huge hit from people who don't go to doctor's office for myriad reasons every year because they're afraid of the unpredictable costs that will accrue from those visits.
I agree with that, but I think people could probably give themselves the flu vaccine, the COVID vaccine themselves.
Look, during a gap on my own insurance, I did once ask a friend from high school who is now a pulmonologist to give me a breast exam. But other than that, I don't recommend that. I don't recommend that as something that people have to do, and that you shouldn't have to rely on the idea of you having to have friends that are.
All they talking about there is giving out an annual flu COVID shot. That's really what they talking about.
Oh yeah.
It just sound like the Wheel of Fortune. Let's bring it back one more time. But one thing that we talked about last night, we was on Miss Lockhart's show. We were talking about Chile. And Chile basically told black women to divest and basically trial their ethnicity. What's your thoughts on that? I ain't 50 years old.
Divest meaning date outside of race, interracial dating?
Yeah.
Well, I would say try and see. Because obviously a man can't tell a woman, and definitely a black man can't tell a woman nothing. So nobody her choice. She gonna make that choice anyway, no matter what. They've been, it's always been this thing they want to book what they men say, or book against the men. Rebel, they like little children rebelling against their parents. That's all they were doing, man. That's all they were. They'll be all right. They'll be all right. They'll be all right.
Hold on 1 second. I know her name.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know Chile was of Bengali and Arab descent, though. Oh, she mixed with some Arab, huh? I ain't know she aborted the baby neither. She aborted the baby too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, she had an abortion. This woman 51 years old, man. Damn, she in there. Oh, wait a minute. Damn, she ain't chilling. I ain't know that. I never paid much attention to chilling. And she ain't number 5 feet either. Actually, you know what? Yeah. There you go. I got it.
You got it?
Yeah, she just saying, okay, she's saying don't just date black men. She like date. Well, Bishop actually said Chile is a third cousin, his sister Rhonda's son. And that family is anything but black folk. Gotta talk about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but really, right?
Mm.
I want for women, especially women of color, but that's a closed man and come to love. Whoa. That thing. The self-identified mixed performer said, God made us all, and you may not find your husband because you're trying to stick to one group. You got to be open. You want the person who's the best person, no matter what color he is. She said she's seeing one guy, but she said water. He's not black. While the majority of high-profile romances have been black men or African-American men. As she recently said in 2016, she was linked to Nick Cannon. I have to know if I was your man. And there's been a rising trend of mostly celebrity black women and even scholars strongly encouraging black women to date interracially. The trend is growing with little consideration for long-term implications. So they're actually pushing this agenda. Yeah, Arab mixed with her. She a wild one for that one. I'll give her that. I ain't with Arab and all this other stuff. Yes, okay. Well, like I said, I ain't never paid much attention to Chile. You know, I just know she was on No Scrubs and shit. Only thing we say about No Scrubs, that did promote the feminist agenda back in the day. So that's all I can say about that. But it is what it is, brother. What can I say? I'm just trying to put the pieces together. But like I always say, they say if you want to hide some black man, put it in a book. All right. So, like I said, I just want y'all to take your time out there and realize what's going on. In Colorado, the people couldn't turn their thermostat down. It was 78 degrees, and they couldn't turn it down. They found out the people was controlling their thermostat. You had floods going on. You had Jackson, Mississippi. said a man was trying to fly into a Walmart or something. He stole a plane, right? You had 2,000 people die in Spain and Portugal due to a heat wave. Weather warfare, as I call it. Workers, labor shortages, things like that. Just be careful. They call it the end times, but surely you learn information every day. It's a fun time. So what you got to say, Shaq, before I depart? I'm not going to self-destruct, but I'm not going to, they had an album called Before I Self-Destruct. I'm not going to self-destruct, but I'm going to depart, It's interesting. Can you hear me? Shaq?
Yep.
Yeah.
Say it again?
I said, before I depart, what you got? You got anything to say?
Man, look here. They keep pushing all these issues on us, man, and I told you it's an overload, man. You're trying to tackle them all is hard. But I'm glad you jumping on them and knocking some of them. Hopefully we can inspire some other people to get on and voice their opinions, man, because if we keep letting these idiots dictate to us, because it's turning into a straight dictatorship on all fronts. You got the women telling you that they telling other women to divest. You got the goddamn president telling you the crazy shit. You know what I mean?
Donald Trump called Joe Biden the enemy of the state.
Yes.
Matter of fact,
anybody that think like that is. You know what I mean?
Let me play it right now.
Yeah, anybody think like that it is, man.
Yeah, just hold on. Wait a minute.
He's gonna come back and bite the American people in the ass.
Well, ain't the American people tired of getting their ass kicked?
You think so?
Hold on 1 second, brother. Oh, I told you about that football player that died too. He died at 21 years old. They say he suddenly collapsed and died.
Damn, what was this?
I forget his name. He played for college. Okay, hold on for a minute, bro. Let me pull this up. Here you go, Shaq. Oh, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me get it in there. All right, it's coming right now.
Stop this destruction of America. You must vote Republican. You got to get out. You know, this week Joe Biden came to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to give the most vicious, hateful, and divisive speech ever delivered by an American president. Vilifying 75 million citizens plus another probably 75 to 150. If we want to be accurate about it. As threats to democracy and as enemies of the state. You're all enemies of the state. He's an enemy of the state. You want to know the truth? The enemy of the state is him and the group that control him, which is circling around him, do that, Joe, right? I think Philadelphia was a great choice to make this speech of hatred and anger. His speech was hatred and anger. By the way, the next morning he forgot what he said. You saw that. They asked him about, I didn't think I said that, did I? I don't know. How'd you like the red lighting behind him like the devil? But Philadelphia was a great choice because the city is being devastated under Democrat rule. Devastated. Hate to tell you, we love Pennsylvania. I went to school in Philadelphia. What's happening in Philadelphia? 14 people were shot last weekend in Philadelphia. 14. And the fake news will go out and check. Oh, that's a lot of fake news. Whoa. That's a lot of fake news. Wow. Well, they'll go out and check the facts. Four people.
You heard it, right? You heard it, right? Chak.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you heard what he
They
said.
keep going in and out. Say it again.
You heard what he said, though, right?
What's that?
You heard what Trump said, right?
About the enemy of the states?
Well, he said Joe Biden is calling you an enemy of the state, but he is the enemy of the state. And he said you saw the red light behind him like the devil. He basically just dropped 2 or 3 dimes in there.
Yeah.
But he called Joe Biden enemy of the state, but Joe Biden is calling us an enemy of the state. The movie, the enemy of the state.
Yes, sir. Well, they got surveillance on us, right?
All under surveillance, brother.
Ain't no way you can go.
The Vatican. Oh, CNN. But nevertheless, go ahead and shout out the information, brother.
Oh yeah, man. Check your boy out, CLE Smooth 81 on the gram and Chak Edwards on Facebook.
Yes, and you can shout you can get King BJ Johnson, kingbjmedia.com. Oh, you say you didn't get a notification, brother. I don't know. Maybe you didn't get one. I don't know. They might be blocking. They do that sometimes. Check out the replay, I guess. $1919 BJ Cash App and Bernard 1120 on Instagram. Hey, look, if you didn't get a notification, I'm sorry. You know, I can't control the Nazi Zionists. So they do what they do. Hey, that's what they do. What can I do? Just gotta keep on talking.
Right.
But take your time, brother.
All right, I'm out of here, man. Peace, people.